Welcome back, Gogunners family. Arsenal Target Norwegian Left-Winger in €90 million deal after Martin Odegaard said he's incredibly exciting. The summer transfer window is beginning to simmer, and once again, Arsenal find themselves at the center of a high-profile European transfer story. Reports linking the North London club with a €90 million move for a Norwegian left-winger have sparked widespread discussion across England and beyond. The intrigue deepened further after club captain Martin Odegaard publicly described the player as incredibly exciting, a comment that many have interpreted as both admiration and subtle endorsement. The player in question is widely understood to be Antonio Nusa, currently developing his game in Germany with RB Leipzig. At just 20 years old, he represents the kind of youthful, high-ceiling talent that fits perfectly into the recruitment model shaped by manager Mikel Arteta and sporting director Edu. But what would a €90 million move really mean? Why are Arsenal interested? And how does this potential signing fit into their broader ambitions in the Premier League in Europe? This is more than just another transfer rumor. It could be a defining moment in Arsenal's next phase of evolution. The Norwegian connection, Odegaard's influence. Since arriving permanently from Real Madrid in 2021, Martin Odegaard has transformed from a technically gifted playmaker into one of the Premier League's most complete attacking midfielders. He is not just Arsenal's captain, he is their creative heartbeat and emotional leader. When Odegaard describing Nusa as incredibly exciting, it carried weight. This wasn't casual praise, it was recognition from a senior international teammate who understands both the pressures of elite football and the expectations at Arsenal. Odegaard has witnessed firsthand the rise of Norwegian football talent over the past decade. While Norway has not yet fully capitalized on its emerging generation internationally, the technical level of its young players has risen dramatically. Nusa is widely regarded as one of the brightest prospects of that generation. If Arsenal do move forward with this deal, Odegaard's presence could be crucial in convincing the winger that North London is the ideal next step. Who is Antonio Nusa? Antonio Nusa burst onto the European stage as a fearless, direct winger capable of beating defenders in 1-versus-1 situations. Quick over short distances, explosive in transition, and confident in tight spaces, he has developed into a modern wide forward rather than a traditional touchline winger. His style is defined by sharp acceleration, creative dribbling patterns, composure in the final third, tactical flexibility. At RB Leipzig, Nusa has operated primarily from the left, but has also been deployed on the right and occasionally through the center. This flexibility is key for Arsenal, who increasingly rely on fluid frontline rotations. The reported €90 million valuation may seem steep for a 20-year-old, but it reflects modern market inflation and the premium placed on young, high-upside attackers. Why Arsenal want a left winger? On the surface, Arsenal already possess quality-wide options. Bukayo Saka remains undroppable on the right, while Gabriel Martinelli has delivered explosive performances on the left. However, there are several strategic reasons Arsenal may be targeting another left-sided attacker. 1. Squad depth for a title push. Competing across domestic and European competitions demands rotation. Arsenal have learned in recent seasons how injuries or fatigue can derail momentum. 2. Tactical evolution. Arteta increasingly wants unpredictability in the final third. A player like Nusa capable of drifting inside, overlapping, or playing between lines adds layers to Arsenal's attacking structure. 3. Competition and development. Elite teams thrive on internal competition. Bringing in a high-caliber winger raises standards across the squad. 4. Long-term planning. Football projects are built in phases. Arsenal are no longer simply rebuilding, they are refining. Adding another elite young talent ensures sustainability. The €90 million question. Is Nusa worth €90 million? Modern football economics complicate that question. Transfer fees now represent potential rather than proven output. Arsenal themselves have invested heavily in youth before, most notably with Declan Rice, whose arrival symbolized ambition. A €90 million fee would signal several things. Arsenal view Nusa as a cornerstone signing. They believe his ceiling is world-class. They are prepared to compete financially with Europe's elite. The market for young, dynamic attackers is fiercely competitive. Clubs such as Tottenham Hotspur and Aston Villa have also shown interest in emerging talent profiles. Arsenal moving early could prevent a bidding war. How Nusa fits Arteta's system. Arteta's Arsenal operate within a highly structured positional play framework. With this essential, but so is interior movement, the left winger's role has evolved significantly. Under Arteta, the left-sided attacker must stretch the pitch horizontally, create overlaps with the left back, press aggressively in defensive phases, attack the half space when central midfielders rotate. Nusa's attributes align neatly with these demands. He thrives in transitional moments but is equally comfortable receiving the ball in crowded areas. His low center of gravity and quick footwork allow him to glide past defenders, while his improved decision-making has enhanced his end product. In a team that already controls possession at high levels, his unpredictability could be the difference in tight matches. The Norway factor. There is also a cultural and psychological dimension to this potential transfer. Arsenal had become an attractive destination for Scandinavian players in recent years, partly due to Odegaard's influence. The presence of a competitor in a leadership role reduces adaptation risk. For Nusa, joining Arsenal would not mean re-entering an unfamiliar dressing room culture. It would mean stepping into an environment where a fellow Norwegian thrives as captain. This dynamic cannot be underestimated. Young players often perform better when supported by familiar language, culture, and mentorship. Risk versus reward. Every major transfer involves calculated risk. The risks: inexperience at the very highest level, pressure of a massive transfer fee, immediate expectations from fans, adapting to Premier League physicality. The rewards: potential to develop into a world-class winger, increased squad depth for title challenges, long-term asset value, tactical evolution. Arsenal's recruitment in recent years has generally leaned towards smart, data-driven acquisitions rather than impulsive splashes. If they commit €90 million, it would likely be backed by extensive scouting and performance analysis. Fan reaction. Arsenal supporters are divided but intrigued. Some view €90 million as excessive for a player still refining his consistency. Others argue that if the club want to bridge the final gap to becoming champions, they must invest boldly. There's also excitement around the idea of another dynamic winger capable of lighting up the Emirates Stadium.
Football fans, especially in North London, understand momentum. They sense that this team is close to something historic. One transformative signing can elevate belief. Tactical possibilities. If Nusa arrives, Arsenal's front line becomes remarkably flexible. Possible variations include Nusa left, Soccer right, central striker fixed. Nusa drifting centrally with overlapping fullback. Rotational system with Martinelli as impact substitute. Fluid front three interchanging positions. Such unpredictability is difficult to defend against. Modern elite football is about manipulating defensive structures, and additional creative dribblers amplify that threat. The psychological impact on rivals. Transfers are not just about improving your own squad, they send messages. A €90 million signing for a young, high-potential winger signals intent. It tells the league that Arsenal are not satisfied with near misses. It reinforces the narrative that they are building for sustained dominance rather than one-off challenges. Financial strategy. Arsenal's financial model has evolved significantly. Commercial growth, Champions League revenue, and strategic player sales have strengthened a position. While €90 million is substantial, spreading payments over multiple years reduces immediate strain. If Nusa develops as expected, his market value could exceed that figure within a few seasons. Elite clubs increasingly treat transfers as long-term investments rather than short-term expenses. What happens next? Negotiations at this level are complex. Factors include player willingness, agent demands, structure of payments, competition from other clubs, timing within the transfer window. Arsenal are known to act decisively when they identify priority targets. If they believe Nusa is essential to their next phase, talks could accelerate quickly. A statement of ambition. The phrase, incredibly exciting, may prove prophetic. Excitement is not just about dribbling flair or highlight reel moments. It is about potential, about what a player could become in the right environment. Arsenal are no longer rebuilding. They are refining, strengthening, and aiming for sustained excellence. The margin between finishing second and lifting trophies is razor thin. If this €90 million deal materializes, it will not merely be about adding another winger. It will represent belief in youth, faith in development, and commitment to competing with Europe's elite. Whether or not the deal ultimately happens, one thing is clear. Arsenal's trajectory remains upward, and if they do secure one of Norway's brightest attacking talents, the rest of the league may soon understand exactly why Odegaard chose those words. Incredibly exciting. For Arsenal fans dreaming of silverware, that may be the most promising phrase of all. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment.